SimRacing, Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship. Today we are here for the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm your commentator Cameron Rodger and I'm joined by Peter Schulze.
Hi Cameron.
Yes, so we're here for 45 laps today around the Shanghai International Circuit, and
34 laps actually for Academy.
Sorry, 34 laps for this Shanghai International Circuit, where our drivers in the third tier will be taking part. And as you can see on screen, it's a 5.4 kilometer circuit with 2 DRS zones down the front straight and then down the back straight as well. The really long back straight where I'm sure we'll see a lot of overtaking. And then we move on to the car where they have two boost modes and 2 fuel mixtures, which they'll be using right now for the qualifying session, which we will get to in just a second's time. And as you can see, Jackson Went is leading currently for Go Speed with a time of 1:32.3. We don't really know what the lap time is going to be yet, as in pre-qualifying, obviously, the drivers aren't showing their full pace, at least the ones at the top who know they're going to completely get through, but we will see what lap times they get through. And you can see what tyres the drivers are on the icon on the tower as well as when they are in the pit lane. And using the colour of their name, you should be able to roughly find where they are on the circuit as well. And the driver with the purple outline is the leader for now. So Peter, how are you feeling for today's race?
The Academy race or the Pro race?
The Academy race today. I know you're racing later, but for now let's keep on with the session we have now.
I think it can be quite an interesting race, seeing as the circuit has a lot of different parts. You have high-speed parts, low-speed parts, long straights, twisty bit. We have corners which can be very, very hard on the tires, especially on the front left. So I think it's a mix of a setup and the driver track, really. We will see people with different strategies, different tire compounds all throughout the race. So I think it can be quite interesting.
Yeah, obviously they have 3 compounds to choose from, and they are the soft, medium, and hard tires, as denoted with the yellow, white, and orange compound colours. So as you see here right now, Jan Woske is on the yellows. He is on the soft tyres. That is the allocation for today's race, and they have to use 2 different ones of these in the race. But for qualifying, obviously everyone is going to be on the soft tyres because you want to get as far up the grid as possible. Soft tyres being a little bit quicker than the mediums, and the hards being much more durable. As this race is a bit shorter, being 35 laps, They obviously won't be doing quite as many pit stops, but there's still a mandatory pit stop, so no one will be no stopping. But that makes it a little bit more interesting for these guys because the tyres can last the same amount as the Pro and World Championship guys, but obviously the race is shorter, so they have a little bit more freedom with what they can do and where they can use their tyres.
I think we have a slight issue with the sound at the moment. It seems like that you, Cameron, are not very loud at all. I can just see in the comments.
Okay.
So we're sorry for that. Cam will fix the sound as soon as possible.
So hopefully my sound should be a little bit better there. I'm obviously doing the broadcast today, and I'll be showing you the pictures as we go through this session. And I'm just getting the timing up so we can see who is on a fast lap. At the moment, it seems to be Indrek Remitz, who is out on a lap, driving for the Networks Grand Prix. He had a not the best season last year, but he's back for this season, currently in 5th place. So he's obviously doing a bit better with some renewed motivation. So far doing a 24.5 in the first sector, which is pretty close to the fastest so far, only about 10th off. And a 52 point, well, total time 52 in the second sector as well. Currently doing a personal best, so he might be able to improve as he comes down this really long back straight. And you can see the DRS here will open up as they get up to, let's see what their top speed is, getting to almost 320 kilometers an hour. Brakes down nice and hard down into actually first gear, which is very unusual for these cars due to the amount of torque. And they come up to this last corner, which is a fast flick to the left. Try not to go on the curb on the outside because it is very big, and then coming across the line, what can he do? So 1:32.7 keeps him in 5th place for now. Didn't actually improve on that lap time. So drivers in this session will have a total of 12 laps, which they can use at any time. However, if you go over the 12 laps, you will get a DQ automatically by the game, and that will be your session over, as you won't be able to continue because it will stop you from going back out again, which is you have to start from the back of the grid. So you really have to choose wisely when you do your 12 laps, because that includes in and out laps, or even laps that you crash on. It's got Adam Rainey here coming up to the last corner as well for the TCS off. I believe this is his debut because he didn't race last time out, but he has done some of our off-season events, and he stays in 10th place for now. And the returning team for this season is F1 Champs Racing. And actually David seems to have disconnected there just as I click on him. That is very nice. It's unfortunate for him. So Thomas Fack down in P18, he actually did a very impressive debut, getting well into the points last time out. He was also quite competitive in the off-season IndyCar and Winter Series that we did, racing under his own brand, Thomas Fack Racing. And he is currently on a personal best lap time. Only about couple of tenths off in the middle sector, so can he improve from 18th place? Yes, he can, goes up to P13. Not quite where he was last race, but I'm sure he will be looking to improve further as the races go on. So Tommy Yatello down in P12 racing for Royal Blue Racing. They had an awesome race last time out, getting 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the race. And looking very good in the Constructors' Championship because of that. And he stays in P12, but he did a very interesting strategy last time out, which got him away from all the chaos that was happening. And that meant that he could get some points at the end. So Royal Blue are a team to look out for at the moment. However, they don't seem to be at the top just yet in this race. One driver being Vladislav Pavlov, who was P2 last time out. Very impressive on his debut. He was very happy after the race in the chat, getting a podium. And he's actually done a purple first sector here. Slightly down in the second sector, but he still has a couple of kilometers to go down this really long back straight. Well over 1.5 kilometers, completely flat out. We can see what top speed he gets up to as well. It's going about 320 as well. Very similar to some of the other cars we've seen. Bit of traffic gets out of the way nicely. He builds up to probably about 7th gear before he flicks it down into this final corner in 4th gear. Gets on the power. Can he improve his lap time? No, he can't. Stays in P number 8. Unfortunately, couldn't improve from that purple first sector. Jackson went actually. He's already on provisional pole position. And he improves his time to a 32.2. So no purple sectors, but purple overall, which means there's still time for some people to find out there to get the best lap. Here's another Royal Blue car. Oh, and he's gone completely off the track, and that will definitely be a cut if that is protested. Which, yeah, that is a pretty large cut. I think he should try and rectify that for the next laps that he does, because you are allowed to you basically have to stay within the white lines apart from when there is a curb. You're allowed to use the curb as well, and that is how the track limit is defined. And he was obviously well off into the runoff there. And Andrei Boratovsky, I've seen he's backed out now of 2 laps that I've clicked on him. So he's obviously not happy with the way he's doing so far, even though he has got a lap for P2. But obviously the other laps haven't gone too well. But he's currently on 7 laps. So he's got to be careful with his lap count here, because you're only allowed 12. And after you press escape, that is another lap. So if you finish on lap 12, then you actually go into lap 13. Catches out a few drivers, but most of them seem to do it correctly. Back on board with Adam Rainey. Most drivers are currently on their out laps. As you can see on the track map, the drivers with the blue outline are on out laps. Adam Rainey with the green circle, because we are focused on him right now. Bit of a wiggly exit coming out onto this back straight. And he's got a couple of cars ahead of him, but they shouldn't really interfere too much. They've got one of the BM racing cars on the side there, getting out of the way nicely. Oh, yes, clearly not the best traction in that car, because he's getting wiggly on the exit there as well. And now coming out around the final corner. He did improve in the middle sector, but can he improve his position? No, he can't, unfortunately for him. Some also making their debut is Milan Rajkovic, racing for the ISIMRS. His teammate Carsten Rietveld won the last race in Australia quite comfortably, but Milan didn't show up, if I recall correctly. And he's down in P30 right now. But this is his first time lap that he'll be setting. Bit wiggly on the exit, opens up DRS, and where can he put himself? Goes up to P27, so I'm sure he has some time to improve. But the whole field actually is very close. Only a second covering the whole field, apart from one, which is nice to see. Very close lap times. And Jackson Went actually is looking good for this pole position. Although there's quite a few drivers now with green sectors, green meaning personal best, and Castle Reitfeld has just set a purple final sector. Didn't quite catch the onboard with him, but he's up into 4th place, the winner from last time out. And yeah, there's a number of drivers with greens in the first sector. We'll stay on board with Edouard Patella racing for the NRWO Motorsports team. As I said last time out, they are returning this season. On Boratowski, actually, he has done a purple middle sector. He is just behind Edouard Patella, so let's go on board with him, because this might be the pole lap for the Russian driver. Coming all the way down this back straight in the NetRex car, opening up DRS. And yeah, his first sector is also pretty good. Purple middle sector, can he... Oh, all over the curve, that's not going to help his exit yet. A little bit squirrely. He's coming up to the final corner. Very dangerous final corner when you're trying to set a fast lap and he goes wide. That will lose him a bit of time, but can he get pole position? No, he can't. Stays in P number 2. So as looks like Jackson is going to be on pole position here unless someone else can do something about it. Tommy Tello goes up to 6th place. It's a bit more like it from his form last time out. And Jackson himself is actually on a lap. However, he hasn't improved in the first sector. Nor is he improved in the middle sector. And struggling a little bit for traction coming out onto this back straight. So I don't think this is going to be an improvement. And he's pretty much the last person on track doing a good lap right now. So we'll just stay on board with him as he comes down to this final hairpin. And this final sector is actually really difficult on a quali lap because you've had all the corners and you're just waiting for one hairpin and one flick to the left. But they're oh so important to get the lap times. Now you see with the number 1 on the side of his car. And as Jackson went getting pole position. And he actually improved slightly there at the end. So he managed to get an improvement in the end. Although none of his sectors were actually looking very good, according to the live timing. So that is Jackson went on pole for today's Academy race, which I believe if it is his first pole position, because he only did a few races last year. And he did not, so that is very nice for him, followed by Andrei Boratowski and Pauli Ahonen. So that is your grid for today's Academy Championship race in China. And we will go to a short break now. And then when we come back, we will run through the full grid because there are a couple of penalties. And we will set you up for the race today. Hello and welcome back to the second round of the Academy Championship. Today from the Shanghai International Circuit. We have 34 laps today and we have just had the qualifying session where Jackson went from Go Speed, managed to get the pole position, and in a moment we will run down the grid with you. As they go on their formation lap. And I'm your commentator, Cameron Rodger, and cameraman for today. And with me is Peter Schulze.
Yes, and leading the grid away on the formation lap is Jackson Wendt on pole position. Right behind him we have Andrzej Borotowski in position 2. Pauli Ahonen and Kaz Whitfield are running up the second row of the grid. Then we have Eduard Batalla in position 5. Tommy Yulitalo in position 6. We have Callum Roberts and Ernest Lepins in 7 and 8. We have Ladislav Pavlov and Jiri Sororatsky in 9th and 10th. Jan Woznica in 11th. Adam Riney in 12th. Dmitry Zaharov in 13th. Thomas Schwach in 14th. Michael Wilson and Matthew Tucson P15 and 16. Then we have Vlad Tokarov in P17, Timen Naburs in P18. We have Michael Teichmann in P19, Gerard Batalla in P20, Dan auf Brandholm in P21 and Angel Banegas in 22nd. We have Milan Rakovic in 23rd, Malcolm Smith in 24th, Jacob Karchevich in 25th, who's actually starting from pit lane. We have Intra Grimets in 26th, Niranjan Kumar in 27th, who's also starting from pit lane, Balish Galia 28th, Mike Almeida 29th, and George Chetzipantelis, who has a start from pit lane penalty.
And yes, the drivers are coming to finish their formation lap now. And this is Jackson Wendt's first pole position, so I have to see how he copes with that. Because obviously there's a little bit more pressure starting from the front. As you know that you want to perform and you want to do well. And drivers now lining up on the grid. Got 30 drivers for today. Coming for a 34 lap race. They've got 3 sets of tyres. Top 10 will be starting on the soft compounds. And as you see on the column on the left, there's a range of other people starting on the orange hard tyres and the white medium tyres. Obviously the medium and the hards last slightly longer, but they are a little bit slower. So you have to do a slightly more conservative strategy for starting one of them. But we got the top 11 actually starting on the soft tyres. And these guys will be looking to try and pull a gap at the beginning while they've got the faster tyres. Now we look to the red lights. Got 5 of them to start this second round of the series. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, and now we got 5 lights for Jackson Wendt on pole position, and he gets away nicely actually. And Borotowski in second place did not get a good start at all. Got a couple of drivers smoking. Jackson Wendt has got a lightning start there, coming down into this first corner, and I think Borotowski there's gone spinning. There's a little bit of lag, but yeah, Borotowski is way out down in the back of the field. A little bit of contact between a couple of royal blue cars as well, down in the midfield. That was not a good start for Andrzej Borotowski at all. And it's Jackson Wendt who leads, coming down to the end of the first sector. Got a move here by Jan Woznica, and he actually there's a crash there between Jan Woznica and I think it's Eduard Batalla as we come now into the second sector.
Yeah, I think they locked a bit of wheels going into turn 3 there. Borotowski beforehand in turn 1 and 2, quite a bit of contact with his teammate Intra Grimets. And we have another spinner in the back. It's Michael Wilson spinning out and falling down to last place.
Dmitry Zaharov is actually He's actually gone off the track. He is out of the track. He's going to need to do a Kimi Räikkönen 2012 in Brazil to try and get back on the road if he can get through that little gap. That's unfortunate for him. We actually have one of these drivers who I think is Michael Teichmann, who's... oh, wow, and he's crashed with... Who is that? He's crashed with one of the TCS cars, and that is not good. Michael Teichmann is actually having quite a bit of a lag here.
Oh, we had another spinner on the back straight. It's... I think it's... Who is it actually? Jakub Karčević? No. It's Adrian Butler, I think, who lost his front wing and spun again. No, the other Butler, Gerard Butler, actually.
Yes, unfortunately, on the first lap there was quite a few little incidents. Can't see too many DNFs right now, but there was definitely a few incidents going on there. Unfortunately for those drivers involved. But Jackson Wendt got a good start, and he is now leading by almost 2 seconds. As we come now into this second lap, he's pulling away a little gap, almost like what Carsten Rietveld did 2 weeks ago in Australia. And I'm looking at P6 right now, Ernest Lappins. After one race, he's already moved teams. He raced for Invictus last time out, and he's now in the Drillers car. Good to see Drillers back, as they initially didn't sign up for the season, but they're now here. And looking good down in P6. Now I'm going to try to get a replay of Boratovsky. That's not the best camera angle. Let's have a look at Boratovsky. So he got a very, very bad start. Loads of wheel spin and coming down into turn 1. Let's see what he does. Oh, he actually gets hit a bit by Carsten Rietveld on the inside, which pushes him into one of the Royal Blue cars. And unfortunately for him, that is him gone down to P23 there, as it says on the side of his car. So that looked potentially like Carsten Rietveld's fault going down into turn number 1. Sort of like what Danny Kvyat did a couple of years ago in real F1, where he pushed Vettel into Raikkonen. It's actually basically the exact same as that. Very, very unfortunate for Boratovsky, although his start didn't help him at all.
And we have a nice battle for P8 between Adam Rainey and Thomas Rach already for 3 or 4 corners, going side by side in each braking zone. Now Vladislav Pavlov actually goes into the fight and trying to get P8 there. They're still trying to go side by side there into turn 4, under braking. Thomas Rach on the outside, Adam Rainey on the inside. Thomas Rach trying to switch back. He needs to be careful with Vlad Pavlov there, trying to go up the inside as well. And Thomas Rach actually on softs tires, while Adam Rainey is going on the hard tires. So Thomas Rach should have a big advantage here.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good if Adam Rainey is on the hard tyres, because he is that first driver on those tyres. Oh, he's actually defending down here. Down into, I think that's turn 10. Sorry, turn 11. But yeah, that's good for him being on the hard tyres and being ahead of some people on the softs, because if he can hold these up, that will be very good for his strategy. However, this straight is very long, and as you can see, this DRS is going... Oh, sorry. Do they have DRS? Yes, they do on this lap. It's lap 3, but also the slipstream is quite powerful down this back straight as it is so long, and that is Thomas Fuck past him for P number 8, and he now needs to use those softer tyres to pull away. Oh, Jackson Wendt is in the pit lane. Did he jump the start? His start was very good. I wonder if he drives through the pit lane, this could be a drive-through penalty for a jump start for Jackson Wendt. I did notice his start was very good, and it seems like it was. That is unfortunate for him. He's coming down now into what is P16, but he's got a couple of guys battling behind. He's got Indrek Remitz battling with Nabuz from Drillers. And yeah, it's actually P17 for Jackson. So unfortunately, he has thrown away quite a good chance for the win today, and that puts Carsten Rietveld, last race's winner, into the lead of this race, followed by Pauli Ahonen. Yes, I'm looking on the chart actually, and it says Jackson Wendt penalty right from the start. So let's get on board. Oh yes, definitely a jump start there. Definitely a jump start there for Jackson. As let's get another replay of that. Yeah, he goes just before the lights go out. So definitely a jump start for him. And he's got some work to do now because he is behind. Let's have a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's behind about 6 cars who are on harder tyres. So he's going to have to do some work to get past them. So yeah, not the best for the Ghost Speed man. And as I was saying on formation lap, that is one thing starting on pole. Maybe a little bit of extra pressure on yourself. Maybe may not be what it was there. May just been a mistake, but still, he is going to have a bit more of a difficult race now to get back up to some good points. Points go down to 15th place. But obviously, the first couple of points are only 1 or 2.
Oh, we have a spinner out of turn 2, blocking the whole road. I think it was the Netrex car I've seen there.
I got a replay here. Yes, it was Boratovsky. He hit the back of Teichmann, who is lagging, and he's lost his front wing there. Yes, that is quite unfortunate for Boratovsky there. Not having the best race so far. Looked very good with his qualifying pace, but unfortunately points do not come from qualifying. And every now and again you have a bad race. And yeah, he's probably not going to be getting points today unless there's a few DNFs.
Oh, we have another car without front wing. It's a TCS off, I think. It's Paulia Honen. He was second. He has lost his front wing.
Yes, let's have a look at Paulia Honen. Oh, that is already his. So he has already gone off track by this point on the replay. Fortunately, there isn't actually a timestamp for his crash, but let's have a look here. Okay, so he's coming around turn number 7. Oh, and he goes on the curb on the entry of the right-hander. Goes all the way through the runoff and loses his front wing. And yes, he's losing quite a few positions now. Down into 25th place. Just about gets it slowed down for the 80 km/h speed. And this is all looking quite good for Karst Reitveld. He's got a 2-second lead now. After starting from, I think, 4th place it was. So this is looking very good for him. He led dominantly from the front last time out. And we also have Boratovsky, who came in the pit lane as well. Obviously, both of them without front wing. So as we come to finish this 6th lap, Karst Reitveld is leading from Tommy Yatello and Callum Roberts, who raced for Royal Blue, who did, as I said, very well last time out. So it's obviously showing that they have definitely got the this car dialed, which is pretty good for a new team, because this car isn't too dissimilar to last year. Last year's car was obviously used as a base, and then a few things here and there with the engine and the tyres and such were tweaked. So teams from last year will have a slight advantage, but not a huge one. So it's good to see a new team coming in and putting in the work and getting up to the top here. And looking back, we've got this massive battle for about 20th place. Got Breslin, got an NRWO, Ghost Speed, and we got Teichmann as well. And actually, Ghost Speed went way off the track there. But good little battle down here for P20. Unfortunately, no points for these guys just yet. But if they stay in the race, they might be able to pick up something later on.
And we actually have the first pit stops. Jan Vosnika and Eduard Batala both coming in lap 6. That's quite early, to be honest.
Yeah, so Vosnika, as you say, he's coming in. He did well last time out, getting P2. Not quite on the pace yet.
He obviously had the spinner in lap 1 and
yeah,
started from the back of the field, basically.
He is on the hard compound tyres, so he might be going to the end on those tyres. Because that will be 28 laps to go, or sorry, 27 laps to go. Which should be doable on these hard tyres. And we have Yatello is overtaking. Sorry, Roberts is overtaking Yatello down into the hairpin. As we said, that DRS is very, very useful. Coming down into the hairpin, which is probably the best overtaking zone on the track. And Ernest Lappin's P5 also comes in. Oh, goes off on the grass a little bit on the very tight pit entry, but manages to not lose too much time. So yeah, drive's coming in very early here with these soft tyres, so obviously not making them work quite as well. And if they go to the hard tyres, I would expect they're going to the end, or at least trying to go to the end. And that is what he does indeed. Looking down into P6, we've got Vladislav Pavlov, podium winner from last time out in the Royal Blue Racing.
And oh, Jackson Wendt and Michael Wilson both in the pits. Michael Wilson actually blocking Jackson Wendt. Jackson has to reverse to get out and still hits Michael. Not a good placement there for Michael in front of his teammate.
Oh yes, he came in just as his teammate was leaving. They do have individual pit boxes. It's not like in real life where teams have to share. So they do have individuals. However, it was right in front. And I mean, Jackson possibly could have been a bit more aware there to see that that was going to happen. But not too much harm done from that. Just a few seconds loss. And now have Roberts ahead of Yatello. So I think they actually swapped back, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think Roberts was the one overtaking.
Okay.
They both actually came in now.
Oh,
Tommy runs very wide there.
Oh god, yeah, difficult pit entry here in China.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of cars coming in. We've got TCS of Yuri Siravatsky in the background as well. Coming in. So most drivers only getting single figures out of these laps. Oh, and Pavlov couldn't quite get Thomas Vac down into turn 1.
Tommy Yitello actually missed his pit box. He stopped and then had to go forward again and stop again. So he probably lost around 6 or 7 seconds, if not more.
Yeah, he's now behind Yuri Siravatsky. So that is not been the best for him. Number 20 car. However, a couple of seconds now, he'd certainly be able to look at getting back in the future, in the next few laps. Because it is only a couple of seconds up the road. And let's have a look at the leader, Karsten Reitveld. He's now got, wow, he's got an 8-second lead because obviously people are doing their pit stops. But him going longer now means he will have an easier time at the end on his tyres. Look at the track map, we've got a massive group coming around the middle sector here. Difference between people who have already made a pit stop and people who started on the hard tyres already. Such as Matt Tewson, who's at the front of this group. P number 7, he started on these tyres, if I'm not mistaken. So he will be going, well, maybe even another 10 or 15 laps if he is trying the one stop as well, which I assume most drivers will in this shorter race. As if you make 2 pit stops, you obviously need to make up another 20-something seconds to make a pit stop, which is a little bit difficult. So we have someone else in the pit lane. We got Thomas Fuck in the pit lane, followed by a couple of other people, Pavlov as well. And the guys all on the hard tyres. So that seems to be the strategy of choice. Soft to hard. And Pavlov actually manages to get past his teammate Yatello because of the mistake that Yatello made in the pit stop. So that has worked out quite well for the Russian. And there's car off ahead there who... can't see who that is. I think it's Kumar. Kumar went off the track a little bit. Losing some time, but not too bad for him. And in this this battle in the midfield, we got George Chatsipantelis Started from the pit lane, obviously, but is doing well up in P number 8 on those hard tyres behind Matt Tucson, who started somewhere in the midfield. So if he can stay a bit close, this could work out for him in the end. So about 10 seconds ahead of people who started on the main grid.
And Cass Redfield into the pits from the lead.
And
he went to a hard tire, so he will go to the end, probably.
Oh, and
he rejoins right in front of Tucson, so that this was an important rejoin. He's basically ahead of all of his rivals on track because they're all stuck in traffic.
Yeah, that is very good for Cast Rightfield, getting ahead of that group, as you say. And that will pay dividends with the laps to come, because Tucson, as I said, will be going for like another 10 laps or so. And will be holding up the cars who will be chasing him. So this could be a second win of the season for Cast Rightfield. However, stranger things have happened, and he will have to be careful to not make any mistakes. So in the back we've got Callum Roberts going past the Driller's car there.
And we have a 3 wide on the back straight. Oh no, they make contact and all of them go into the wall. Jiri Sorowatsky was on the inside of a 3 wide and steered to the left and made all of them crash into the wall. He has massive suspension damage and his front wing is gone. Milan Rakovic also lost his front wing, and I think Tomasz Wach was the other one who lost his front wing, yeah.
Oh, yep. It looks like Yuri came across Thomas, pushing him into the ICMRS car, who I think was Milan. So yeah, that is going to be... it looks like bad suspension damage as well, so that could be at least the race for points over for those drivers. Got Mike Almeida now, having a look at Kumar, with Jan Woznica behind them.
And Jiri Sorowatsky comes out of the pits with a big bent steering wheel, or steering arm, I should say. Oh, and he nearly crashes again. He should just retire the car instead of risking to crash with anyone else.
Oh, he's turning left in a right-hander almost. So yeah, that is not good for him. And looking back to the front, we've got Adam Rainey leading on those hard compound tyres. And if you remember on, I think it was lap 3 or 4, we saw that he was ahead of one of the drivers on the softs, which is very good for him. And it's paying dividends now because he's got completely free air. And if you're looking at about 20-something seconds for a pit stop, he's going to come out sort of around Pavlov area on the track. Maybe Yatello if he is quite quick. And that is going to be good for him gaining some positions because they were ahead of him before the pit stops. But obviously they are caught in a bit of a battle right now. Got all these cars. You've got Ballas Galeg going past Ernest Lappins just ahead as well.
Oh, Ernest Lappins actually goes around the outside with much greater speed than Ballas Galeg and takes the place back.
Yeah, I thought that was game, set, match, so I just clicked off his name and then I noticed he got back past. That is good defending from Ernest in his first race for Drillers Motorsport. Yeah, this is really not working out for people like Tommy Yatello, getting stuck in these battles.
No, and obviously because all of them run hards, the hards are actually not that much slower 10-12 laps into the race compared to the fresh ones, so I think he missed his strategy there a bit, going to the hard tires so early that he gets stuck inside all of the other hard runners who started with the hards.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to be good at, even in these shorter races, is your tyre strategies, your time management. Because in some ways, actually, it's more crucial here. And Tommy Utello now is getting past Galler. And in the background, his teammate Pavlov is getting past Malcolm Smith as well. So that's 2 moves there on the same straight for Royal Blue.
Oh, und Jan Wozniak runs wide at the hairpin. Kumar gets past again.
Though he has DRS now down into turn 1, but turn 1 is a very difficult place to overtake. There's not really a braking zone as such before the entry of the corner. So that is going to be very difficult for him, and he'll have to sit and wait for a better chance to overtake. We've got a good little scrap here between Tucson, Benyes and Chetzipantelis. However, Tucson is holding just enough gap that Angel isn't close enough on the straights. And if Tucson keeps going where he's going, this could get him into the back end of the points as we get a bit further into the race. But he has to make sure that his tyres don't start dropping off too much. Although these hard tyres will be good for well into the 20 laps. And actually, Chetzipantelis is now gaining. He's going to try and go around the outside of the hairpin, although when he pulled out the slipstream, didn't quite gain as much, so that's not going to be an overtake into the hairpin on this occasion. But it could be
he's
now.
Very close for turn 1. And he tries to go around the outside of turn 1. They're still side by side. Now he goes a bit wide, understeers out of the corner. He took the entry quite careful compared to Bonegas, so with a more aggressive entry he might be able to pull that move off around the outside.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing here is that the hardest, the most wearing tyre is the front left, and turn 1 is obviously quite difficult for the front left, so you can't push for an overtake every single lap, otherwise you'll start burning it up. So he needs to choose carefully when he pushes that tyre. Probably be better to try and get a better exit down onto the back straight. And Tucson's actually doing just enough to hold off these 2 cars behind.
Yeah, every time they come onto a straight, Tucson has much better traction and basically pulls away. So far that no one else behind him with DS can reach him, but then under braking zone and also in the corners, all of them catch up again. So the Invictus driver might have gone for a lower downforce setup to get better top speed, or has much better rear traction.
Yeah, obviously with that long straight, some teams may be looking to go for a bit of a lower wing setup. Unfortunately, you can't visually see lower wing angles in rFactor 2. However, looking at things such as top speed and the ease of overtaking, you can sort of work it out, because other drivers were overtaking not necessarily easily, but they were able to do it. And Tucson is doing well here to hold it off. This will be helping him out in the future. And Kus Reitveld isn't exactly running away from Tucson. He's pulling away a little bit. It's now to about 5 seconds, but it's only a couple of seconds over the last sort of 5-6 laps since he pit. And last time we were looking, Adam Rainey was leading. However, it's now Vlad Tokarev who's leading. So I think he must have caught and overtaken Adam Rainey.
Oh, and Chetsi Penthelis tries around the outside again, actually locks up trying to do a switchback on Angel Benegas. Didn't manage to pull it off again.
Just having a replay down into the hairpin. Yep, goes around the outside. Oh, he gets caught on the curb a little bit. Locks up. And he will have to think again.
Oh, we have a 4 wide in the background. Nearly a 4 wide. Balashka Uzit, Vladislav Pavlov, Ernest Lapins, Tommy Litalo, and Tivan Nabuas. 4 drivers, 2 teams, all fighting for positions. So far, Tommy Litalo managed to stay ahead of Ernest Lapins.
It's good to see teammates fighting. Very good for the eyes with the colours being the same. And Pavlov, unfortunately, is now down in 11th place. I'm sure this scrap will keep on going, because this is obviously for some half-decent points on the back end of the top 10. And when the few people pit ahead, they'll be battling for sort of 5th place. As we're talking of points, I'm going to pull up the championship standings. Unfortunately, it won't be on your screen, but Pavlov, well, it's actually very good for Royal Blues. Callum Roberts, Vladislav Pavlov, and Tommy Utello are 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, and Pavlov now going around the outside, or trying to anyway. Couldn't quite make it work, but yeah, if he can get on sort of 5th place again, he'll be looking for some good points to put higher up in the championship, because ahead of him is Woznica, who's not having a good day so far. And that group's actually spread out a little bit on that previous lap. Oh yeah, the dirty air in these 2 fast corners is not helping Angel. He was losing a bit of time there. Oh yeah, over pushing down into turn number 9. Lost a bit of ground here. And they've got just realised there's a whole host of cars here coming around the corners, all all in a line. Actually, Chetsi Pantelis, is he going to have a look this time? No, he can't quite make the turn in.
Look how much these cars are always closing in on Tucson under braking. He's so far down the straight, and under braking they nearly run into him every time. So as soon as they get close enough, they will just blast past Tucson under braking.
I mean, that has been a bit of a trait over the... Well, I remember last season as well, the Invictus were not always the best on braking. So maybe to do with the way they set up the car. But they're still in quite a good position here with Tucson. However, he needs to make sure he's not losing too much time. Looking at the standings, yeah, he's going to be sort of on the back end of the points when he makes his pit stop. But he will obviously be on the probably the soft tyres.
And you know, it will get interesting within the next lap or two, because Tucson and Banegas are holding everyone up. Callum Roberts, Tommy Litalo, Ernest Lapins are all catching this group, so there will be some overtaking coming up very soon.
Looks like Callum Roberts here might, maybe not this lap, But certainly in the coming laps, he looks like he does have a good top speed towards against Chatzipantelis, even though Chatzipantelis also had Slipstream and DRS. So there will definitely be opportunities here over the next couple of laps. And Tusen's actually having to defend here, coming down into turn number 1. And I was trying to go round the outside, but Tusen has the racing line. Can he keep his nose just far enough that he has the right to the space? Yes, he does, but he's now going to have to go round the outside, which is obviously a longer distance. And he has now lost the place, and he's down into P number 5. And this might be carnage for Matt Tusen. All these cars coming behind him now. Chatzipantelis is going to be having a look over the next couple of laps.
Oh. I think Tommy Lietalo had to brake because Callum Roberts and George Chatzipantelis were going so slow in front of him, and Ernest Lappins couldn't react anymore. Kind of a
I'm getting
accordion effect there.
A replay coming down into turn number 6. Oh, he actually gets bumped from whoever that was behind.
Yeah, Ernest Lappins ran into the back of him because he couldn't react anymore. At least that's what it looked like.
Yeah, Tommy had to really slow down on the apex.
With Barnegas overtaking Tucson, this probably popped the cork in the bottle there. Pantiland very close to Tucson trying to attack Barnegas. Chatzipantelis trying to attack Tucson as well. And Tucson just not having the brakes he wants to. And now Chatzipantelis makes a mistake. Callum Roberts up into P6 trying to pressurize Tucson now. And Barnegas actually going into the pit lane and changing tires.
Yeah, I'd hope he's changing tyres if he goes into the pit lane, because we don't have refueling in FSR, as is the way with current Formula 1. And so that is now Callum Roberts, who's almost got past Matt Tucson. If Callum Roberts can do this early enough, he might have a chance at catching Kaz Reitfeld if he's quick enough.
Oh, Lappins dive bombed Chatzipantelis into turn 4. Chatzipantelis barely could react and avoid it, and lost the position to Vladislav Pavlov as well.
Oh, that I thought that was going to be a crash there, I have to say, because I was just on the corner of the screen, managed to click on him, but that was a bit of a lunge down into the hairpin. And on the previous lap, Kaz Reitfeld was actually having a look at Adam Rainey as well, and he's going to be looking at him now. And obviously Adam hasn't made a pit stop, so Kaz needs to be careful because he doesn't want to get any sort of damage fighting a battle that isn't really his. But he has definitely got that. And let's have a look at these cars coming down to the hairpin. Doesn't look like any overtakes on this lap. Although, oh god, yeah, Tucson actually said wasn't very good on the brakes. And that's
don't turn in. This was a bit close there.
Yeah, I think that's Callum Roberts almost had enough brakes to get past Tucson, and Tucson pits. So Tucson has finally decided that he will come into the pit lane.
He obviously needs to react to Barnegas pitting, because otherwise he will undercut him massively. Chatzipantelis into the pits as well.
So these drillers and Royal Blue cars having a big scrap still. And his Ernest Lappin's going to go for another dive. Oh, no. He defends, Callum Roberts defends the inside, and now he's got to go around the outside, but that isn't really going to work at this corner. Oh, and he spins on the curb. He spins on the curb. The curb was he doesn't have as much grip. And he has lost a few seconds there. He shouldn't have worn his tyres too much, but he certainly lost a few seconds there. And that is not ideal for Ernest. Look, he was having quite a good little battle there. And it's now the 3 Royal Blue cars in 4, 5 and 6. But that will be 2, 3 and 4 when Rainey and Tokarev pit ahead. So what does Tokarev do? He's our leader. However, we know he's going to be further down the order. But no, he carries on. Does Adam Rainey as well? Yes, they do. So let's have a look where Oh, wow. So Tucson is down in 19th place. Angel is he's miles up the road, isn't he? He gained quite a lot, about 5 seconds with that undercut. 5 seconds with that undercut. Now Malcolm Smith is being overtaken by Pauli Ahonen, who has continued the race after the damage earlier on. Yeah, that really actually hasn't worked out for Tucson as well, because he went on to the medium tyres. If he was going to make any proper progress at the end, he needed to go on the soft tyres. Angel did as well. I'm a bit surprised by that. I assume they would have gone for the soft compound tyres to be a bit quicker.
On Schatzi Pantelis going around the outside of Matthew Tucson into turn 1. Tucson getting a bit stuck there behind Malcolm Smith. Oh, contact between Smith and Tucson. Tucson deciding that the best way to defend is attack, but made a bit of contact there. Oh, the Schatzi Pantelis is trying around the outside again. Doesn't make it work yet.
It's going to be a bit difficult for him to get into some meaningful points, because people around him have pit, and he's about 10 seconds away from some meaningful points. So unfortunately, it hasn't really worked out. And we got the Royal Blue cars going for a battle hit. Pavlov now leading the trio ahead of Callum Roberts. And we got obviously these teammates now going for what is effectively second place in this race. And who's pit? Tokarev. Tokarev has pit. Oh, he's also taken the... I'm very surprised they're taking the mediums with only 10 laps to go, because Cas Rivel got 10 laps out of them on a full tank of fuel. Obviously, as the fuel tank goes down, it'll be a bit easier.
It was a bit dodgy there. Tucson overtaking Malcolm Smith into the hairpin. Schatzi Pantelis is trying to follow through around the outside, but Smith missing the corner, running out of road and taking Schatzi Pantelis with him.
Yes, get a replay down this back straight. Matt Tucson, as you say, going for the overtake. And Schatzi Pantelis, yeah, a bit of contact there, unfortunately. Bit of time lost for the Rookie Monsters driver. So Adam Rainey, where is he going to come out? Okay, he's going to come out somewhere around P10. Well, has Brent Holman Almeida pit yet?
Mike Almeida hasn't. I think Brent Holm did. Let me check.
It's a bit difficult when they're... Sorry?
Brent Holm pitted 7 laps ago.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult when they're all on the hard tyres to judge exactly. Who's that in the background? Is that... Oh, Jan Wozika. I saw him defending, but he's defending thin air because Kumar behind him. Oh, wow. Almost.
This was close.
Yeah, almost ran into back of him, but Kumar was actually quite far behind. And now Mike... Oh, sorry, I thought Mike was pitting. Got a light on...
Adam Rainey is pitting.
Yes.
Actually.
Mike does pit, as I say. But yeah, Adam Rainey pitting. So he's going to come out, I said about P10. And he's done well. See, he's on the soft tyres. So he's going to be nice and quick. The cars ahead of him are on older tyres.
That pit exit was a bit optimistic. I think he cut across the line there. Adam Rainey.
Yeah, certainly looked like he touched it. Obviously, the way turn 1 is, you sort of want to come out, but you can't touch the pit lines. So if that is indeed looked at by the stewards, then he may be open to a penalty after the race. So we've now got Vlad Tokarev behind Kumar Woznica, but he's on a step softer tyres and quite a few laps younger. So, and he's very close actually. So this should be an overtake for Tokarev if he has the top speed. But it doesn't actually look like he has the top speed, unfortunately. I know Kumar's also... Oh, he goes for a bit of a lunge, but no, he doesn't quite go for that in the end. But I know Kumar had the had DRS as well, but usually you can still get a bit of an overtake going, but not on this lap. And Kumar pits. Kumar takes to the pit lane, and that should be for a set of the soft compound tyres as well as Adam Rainey. And Adam's actually done pretty well here because he's got himself out in P7, bit of clear air on brand new tyres. Got a couple of cars ahead that he can overtake.
Schatzipantelis finally managed to get past Tucson. He tried for like 20 laps and finally did it into turn 1.
Yeah, he's on the step softer tyres, which will be helping now. Obviously, before they were on the exact same tyres. So that will help him have a bit more grip in the corners. But still, only a couple of points for him today.
While doing that, he actually did the fastest lap of the race so far.
Angel spins. Angel spins. He's lost his front wing. Let's see if we can get a replay of this. So he's coming down into turn number 6. He's behind Indirect Remits. Does he do what Lappins did? Yes, he did. He touched that curb, went into the wall, lost his front wing. So he's going to have to come into the pit lane. Oh, a bit of dodgy rejoin, but no damage. And he actually DNFs. He decides to DNF. And Tokarev has got past Wozdaka as I click on him into the hairpin. And that puts him up into P5. Wozdaka getting very close on the last corner. But he's going to have DRS now. However, that won't be enough because the gap's a little bit too big coming down to turn 1.
And Adam Rainey's in the pit lane again.
Did he speed? No? What's he? He's changing tyres? Stop go. Is that stop go penalty?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
That's about 15, 16. Yeah, that looks like a 10-second stop go penalty. However, I'm surprised what that's for, because generally a speeding penalty is a drive-through, but unless he sped a lot and the game chose to penalise him even further, which you can do if you pit severely.
He did get a penalty exactly when he crossed the pit exit line.
Yeah, so it gives you the penalty when you leave, so he must have sped on the entry.
Yeah.
By quite some amount, because you rarely see a stop-go for speeding. It's generally a drive-through penalty. And now Yatello has got past Callum Roberts down into the hairpin. So these Royal Blue cars definitely looking very good for maybe even the Constructors' Championship this year, if they can keep it going all season. Only the top 2 drivers for each team get Constructors' points, but no other team actually has 2 drivers up there in the top 10. The top 10, they're all single cars. Reitveld for ISIMRS, Tokarev for BM Racing, Vosnika for Flag to Flag, Brantholm for NRWO, Went for Ghost Speed, Remits for Netrex, and Inahonen for TCS. So in terms of the constructors, this is looking good for Royal Blue. And obviously the third car being there effectively takes points away from other people as well. So they could be looking good as the season goes on. We have 14 races this season, going to all of the sort of the bigger tracks on the F1 calendar. In a month's time, we have round 3, which is Azerbaijan, Baku, which is going to be, I think, a really good race because it's going to be a slipstream fest of cars overtaking left, right, and centre, like we saw in the Winter Series. We had a very entertaining afternoon of racing there a couple of months ago, back in January, because you can obviously overtake going towards the line. But for now, it is Cast Reitveld leading by some 10 seconds, so he's certainly looking like the man to beat this season. Obviously, Jackson Went, he had a drive-through penalty, but he's still some 30 seconds behind, so he's obviously lost some further time since then. So it does look like Cuss is the man of the moment. Oh, and Jan Wozka runs wide at the final corner. This is going to give a good look for Danove down into turn 1. He's going to go around the outside, try and get the inside for turn 2. However, he's got the move done if he can just about hold. Oh no! Wheels. The wheels locked. Luckily, they didn't actually completely spin. But when the wheels lock like that, there's not much you can do. Jan was trying to keep his nose in there. However, possibly not enough room. That has allowed Jackson Went to get past your pole sitter, who's defending down into turn 6. Jan's actually trying to go round the outside, although the road's going to close off there, so he doesn't make it move on this occasion.
Yeah.
So,
I think Jan actually has the oldest tyre of anyone on the grid because he was the first to pit in lap 6, I think.
Yeah, as with Australia 2 weeks ago, he was the first to pit. He had good pace there, managed to get up to P2, but this race he hasn't quite at the pace, and obviously he wasn't as near the front after the first couple of laps. But still, P8 will be a good haul of points for Flag to Flag team. So we come on to lap number 30. So we have 4 laps to go in this 60% race. So drivers here in this Academy Series, the 3rd tier, get slightly shorter race of 60%. 60% of the WC distance, which is 305 kilometers. Academy do 183 kilometers, to be exact. And they also have available some driving assists. Obviously, they don't have to use it. But for instance, they have low traction control and low ABS available. However, pretty much no one uses that because it is slower.
I think Ernest Leppins launched one up the inside of Chatsi Pantelis into turn 4 again.
Let's have a look. Coming through the kink of turn 5. He's looking on the inside. And no. There's a little bit of contact on the apex and Ernest just pulled away. But didn't really look too bad. Fortunately, the replay is not quite as smooth as the real-time racing. But it did look like there was a little bit of a bump there, but Chase Pantelis made a bit of a mistake. And we now have inject remits on the back of Jan coming down to turn 1, but just ahead of them, Jackson Went looking on the inside of Brantholm, and he has made it. Works your pole sitter now back up to P6.
Team Naburs made a move onto Nuyanji Kumar into the hairpin on the inside, and they locked wheels. Kumar spun, Naburs had a half spin, and he went past him.
Oh, yeah. But unfortunate that contact there. Because, yeah, it's with open wheel cars, when the wheels touch, it's very difficult to get out that situation without spinning. It's not the nicest of things to be involved with an open wheel car, but that is part of the racing. And something that these drivers will learn over their years as they work their way up, because there is a licensing system, so drivers are forced into a certain division depending on their ability, which is judged by the administration through past results and history, that sort of thing. And obviously the idea is that over time, Remets looks down the inside, big dive bomb, and Jan Woznica is going to get past. And Indrek was actually one of the drivers who wanted to move up to the Pro Championship. However, he was He was made to stay in the Academy series, and that is just the whole point of the licensing system. So drivers have to earn their place in the higher tiers and work their way up over their time in FSR.
And I think Pantelis has killed his tires. He got passed by Tucson just now. He's trying to gain the place back again. Oh, out the outside. This was a close one. Or he made a mistake, I'm not sure. Either his tires are starting to go off, or he had a mistake in the last lap.
Oh yes, his rear tyres are looking very interesting right now. And will Matt Tucson be able to be big enough on the brakes into turn 6? He's made the apex. Can he get the exit enough? It looks like he might be able to do this because Chatsipansis has no traction. And yes, Chatsipansis won't be able to defend this, at least through the next couple of corners. And that is a nice move there by Tucson. Up into P number 12 for the Invictus driver. In fact, he's the only Invictus driver in the top 25 on the standings, so he is pulling the weight for his team in P number 12.
Yeah, look at the gap Tucson is pulling on Chatsipantelis. Chatsipantelis will get under pressure soon from TM Nabus behind him.
Oh, sorry. I thought Jan was going to spin there. Jan Woznica. Indirect remits basically did the identical of last lap. Managed to get down the inside, and Jan is just going backwards over these last few laps. He's now down into P at number 9, but he has the DRS on this penultimate lap of the race, lap 33. He's going to look down the inside, actually. Second time Jan has locked wheels with someone. And they're actually still battling. They get back on track side by side. I don't do it again. Okay, I thought they were going to do it again. So yeah, Jan's tyres are definitely a bit cooked, and he's now down to P11. Hasn't been the best race for him, unfortunately. But I'm sure he will take everything into account and learn for the next races, because he definitely has the speed. He's shown that. Just needs to sort out the sort of overall package.
And we have a battle for the last point position as well. Michael Wilson catching Kumar, who I guess killed his tires as well. And this battle for position 13 as well. Nab was right behind Chatsipantelis.
And we're now on to the last lap of the race. Cast Reitfeld going into turn 1. If he can complete this lap, he will take his second win of the season to take quite a nice championship lead. Obviously, winning both of the first races of the season is a very good way to start the year for the ISMRS driver. And we've got an overtake here. Chatsipantelis has now been overtaken by Nabuz down into the hairpin, and he's going to make that stick. So yeah, Chatsipantelis actually couldn't make those soft tyres work like I thought they would. And this is going to be the last lap for him to see if he can try and get any more points. Ernest Lappins going past Paulia Honen down into turn 1 as well. So actually turn 1 seemed to be quite a big overtaking.
Chatsipantelis nearly took him, and Nabu was out there going around the outside, cutting onto the apex right as he was next to Nabus. And Mike Wilson managed to get past Kuma, who nearly spins out of turn 3 there.
But we need to turn our attention to Cast Reitfeld. He is leading this race by 10 seconds, as he has done for quite a while now. He's been completely in control of this race, and for the second time this season, he's going to come around the final corner to take the win, and that is going to be a nice championship lead for him. And after 34 laps, it's Cast Reitfeld who takes the win here in China. Very dominant drive after getting the lead, and then P2 will be Vladislav Pavlov, who is leading a trio of Royal Blue cars who have done very well today. And Tommy Utella, look at that, he's very happy. Oh, where is Callum Roberts? He must have lost a lot of time, because he is quite way behind, close to Vlad Tokarev, who did a really good race. Good strategy, alternative strategy, getting 5th place. And we have Jackson went down over Brantholm, coming for P6 and 7. Then you've got to wait a little bit for Ernest Lappens, who will pick up P8, first points for drillers this season. and then Indrek Remitz and Jan Wozniak finishing the top 10. Then we get Matt
And
Tusen.
Pauli Ahonen ran out of fuel in the last corner. He lost 2 positions. Oh, nearly a crash there on the finish line. Oh, and Chatsi Pantelis avoided it but went straight into the wall.
Yeah, Chatsi Pantelis there picking up the final point. And yeah, Pauli managing to get some points still. But it was Cas Reitveld who managed to take the win for the ISMRS car. And to be honest, that was a very nice race from him. He did everything that he needed to, and he took out another win for the ISMRS cars. And there we go. There is his car on the screen. The winner for the second round of the season. And in 1 month's time, we will be back for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The first time FSR has gone to Azerbaijan for a official championship race. So I'm looking quite forward to that with the low wings that people will be taking there, and we will see if Cas Reitveld can get another win there. So any final thoughts, Peter?
I think we had quite an entertaining race, really. Lots of battles. Good drive by the leader. Interesting strategies. So yeah, I think the viewers had quite a nice race to watch.
Yeah, and in a short while we will have the Pro Series. So that is the second tier. That will be coming up in about an hour's time, and then we will be looking forward to the World Championship, which the race will start at 1900, 7 o'clock GMT. So we'll be looking forward to that later, and hopefully you can join us for both of those races. And until then, we will say thank you, and we will see you for the next races in a couple of hours. So see you then, and thanks for watching.